Hello everybody, my name is Tristan Davis, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my summer working at 90.9 WBUR. So, what we offer. WBUR is a subset of National Public Radio, so how that works, it's a little confusing, is there isn't, one building that's the NPR headquarters. It's sort of made up of a bunch of different organizations that all air some local, some nationally syndicated shows, and that's what WBUR does. So on the right you can see Here and Now, which is run out of WBUR, but again that's a nationally syndicated program, so they're getting a lot more listeners than just what's local. And then right under that is the All Things Considered logo, and that's the show I write for. So that's a daily news show hosted by Lisa Mullins. And there's 5 o'clock shows, 6 o'clock shows, and basically that's when NPR will switch over to her, and WBUR is sort of the site of where everything is coming from. But throughout the day, there's shows out of Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. is the headquarter, and you'll just sort of be hearing shows from radio stations all across the country that, again, are just smaller subsets of NPR. So again, that's what we do. We have Here and Now and All Things Considered, and then another show, On Point, which is hosted by Tom Ashbrook, and that's just sort of a talk show that always garners a lot of listeners too. But again, another example of one of those nationally syndicated programs is the little newspaper rolled up to look like an exclamation point at the bottom. That's called Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and that's a comedy game show hosted by Peter Segal. So again, we'll hear all these shows throughout the day, even though they won't necessarily be coming from our station. So again, I work in the newsroom, and as a news writer, we are in a U-shaped desk formation, and we're each given a desk with a recording device where we work throughout the day. So we each get 2 monitors, which seemed like a lot at first, but then one of the other writers was telling me, soon you'll wish you have more, just when it gets really, really busy and there's a lot going on and you need to open up more windows to either look up stories or look up contacts to call people. But so that's sort of what our work area looks like. We also have a telephone which rings about 4,000 times a day, and that could be anyone calling about a tip for a story, something that they want to give us first coverage on, or something that they know of that's happening around the city that they think we should cover, or anything like that. And pretty much we're talking to them all day. Or we could be conducting interviews. So say I get a story that comes attached with a contact, I'll make the call, I'll talk to the person for 5 or 6 minutes about whatever the story's about, and then from there I'll sort of edit out a soundbite that I think sums up the story really well, or the conversation that we had, and then I'll write a story around it that gets uploaded and then gets read by Lisa, and All Things Considered. So that's sort of how the process works, but we're also occasionally given assignments that are out of office, which I'll get to a little bit later on, but sometimes we'll have interns go across Boston if there's a press conference happening at the aquarium or at Faneuil Hall or in Cambridge at one of the colleges or pretty much anywhere. That's where some of the interns will go. So as far as my contributions go, through my first few months there's not a lot I haven't done yet. Right away, my first day, I remember they sat me down at a desk and I was in between 2 of the senior writers, and they sort of just gave me a rundown of what they wanted me to do that day. So they gave me a couple phone numbers to call. They really quickly showed me how to use Adobe Audition, which is our recording program. And that's sort of what I did for the day. And I remember writing readers, which are 18 to 25 second news blurbs. Then those are read throughout the day. And then there's also cut scripts, which I'll write, which is basically a reader but with some sound in it. So it's a little bit longer and it's written a little bit differently. So I remember doing a ton of those, which is great, because I remember a lot of my friends were joking and saying I was just going to be getting coffee the whole time, but I've really been put to use immediately since getting there, and the way they see it, if there's someone there willing to work, then they're going to get work. There's a lot to be done, even on a slow news day, so it's always really important that everyone's doing something, and they're not going to use somebody as a waste of space. You're always going to have a lot of jobs to do. And if not, all you have to do is ask, and I'm sure, just like it's happened to me, anytime I've asked, someone has 30 things that I could help them with. So you could always be doing something in there, and that's made it really easy to contribute. I've also shadowed anchors. The first couple weeks I was there, I shadowed Lisa Mullins, who she anchors All Things Considered. So I sat in the production suite with her, and I sat in the studio, and I listened to a live recording of the news. And I got to put the headphones on and everything, and that was really cool seeing that because I've always really enjoyed the broadcast aspect of it. I shadowed Steve Brown, who's our head reporter, and he doesn't have an office at WBUR, but he works out of the State House. So I spent my whole day at the Massachusetts State House. We listened to a press conference given by Charlie Baker, who's the governor of Massachusetts, and then I helped him sort of piece together the entire story and write it up. So that was a really, really good experience, and it was fun seeing, how, I'm in the office all day, I'm behind a computer screen, so it's good to see that you can contribute outside of the station and then also in a really creative way, because Steve's been doing it a while, so he always finds ways to spruce up his story and make it look a little different or sound a little different. And it was really fun getting to know him and all the other people that work in the State House, and it was a really, really great experience. So this is me on assignment. I went to a fireworks safety seminar hosted by the city of Cambridge, so the entire Cambridge police force, the district attorney came, and they did sort of a seminar on the dangers of fireworks because 4th of July was coming up. So as you can see, my friend here standing on my left, so if you're looking at the screen, his right hand has been blown off because he wasn't careful. They put a firecracker in his hand and detonated it, and they also detonated some fruit to show what can happen to human flesh if it comes in contact with a firework. So it was a really interesting day. I got to talk to the district attorney, the chief of police, and I also saw a mannequin get blown up with some firecrackers, and I got credit for everything. So it was a lot of fun getting the sound for that. The story came out really great, and overall it's just been an awesome experience there. As far as issues go, the writing style for radio is so different, and that's been tough to adjust to because I've been working in print my whole life. But I've gotten better at that, and it's just been really easy because of how welcoming and kind everyone is. It really has been truly overwhelming. The news director sought me out and shook my hand the first day, and it just made that for a way better experience. When you feel like you belong somewhere and people want to see you succeed and they want to help you, it just makes it easy for a better learning experience. So that's been my summer so far. I'm looking forward to the next few months and looking forward to sharing it with all of you. Thank you.